What if the reason you can't stay happy has nothing to do with your life and everything to do with how your brain is designed? Think about it. You finally get something you've been chasing. A better job, more money, a relationship, a new opportunity. And for a moment, it feels incredible, like everything is finally coming together. But then, that feeling fades. The excitement disappears. And somehow, you're right back where you started. Still restless, still searching, still feeling like something is missing. Now here's the truth most people never hear. Your brain was never designed to make you happy. It was designed to keep you alive. And in the modern world, that design is quietly working against you. Before we go deeper, if you want to understand the hidden forces controlling your mind, hit subscribe, because most people go their entire lives without realizing what's really driving their thoughts. Now let's go back thousands of years, long before cities like New York or London, before technology, before comfort, before stability. Your ancestors lived in a world where survival was never guaranteed. Every day was unpredictable. Food wasn't certain. Safety wasn't guaranteed. And danger could appear at any moment. In that environment, being calm and satisfied wasn't an advantage. It was a risk. Because the moment you relaxed too much, you stopped paying attention. And that's when you became vulnerable. So over time, the human brain evolved to prioritize one thing above all else: survival. Researchers from Stanford University have studied how the brain constantly scans for potential threats, even when nothing is wrong. This system helped early humans stay alert. It made them cautious. It made them prepared. It kept them alive. But it also came with a trade-off. The brain became wired to focus more on what could go wrong than on what is going right. And that's why today, you can have a good day overall, but one small negative moment ruins everything. You can receive 10 compliments, but one criticism stays in your mind for hours, or even days. This is not weakness. This is something called negativity bias. Researchers at Harvard University found that negative experiences create stronger and longer-lasting activity in the brain compared to positive ones. In simple terms, your brain reacts more intensely to bad things than good things. And from an evolutionary perspective, that makes perfect sense. If your ancestors ignored something dangerous, they could die. But if they ignored something positive, nothing serious happened. So the brain learned to treat negative information as more important, more urgent, more real. Now fast forward to today. You're no longer dealing with predators in the wild, but your brain doesn't know that. Instead of reacting to life-threatening danger, it reacts to modern stress, emails, deadlines, social media, rejection, uncertainty. A study from Yale University shows that the same areas of the brain that respond to physical threats are activated during social stress and anxiety. That means your brain treats a negative comment online almost like a real physical danger. Your heart rate increases. Your thoughts race. Your body goes into alert mode, even though your life isn't actually at risk. This is what creates that constant feeling of pressure, like you can't relax, like something is always wrong, like you should be doing more. And then there's something even more powerful working against your happiness, something that keeps you chasing but never satisfied. It's called hedonic adaptation. Researchers from Princeton University have shown that human beings quickly return to a baseline level of happiness after positive events. In other words, no matter what you achieve, your brain gets used to it. You buy something new. At first, it feels exciting, but after a few weeks, it feels normal. You achieve a goal. At first, you feel proud, but then your mind starts looking for the next thing, and the next, and the next. This creates what psychologists call the hedonic treadmill. You keep moving forward, but you never feel like you've arrived. Now think about this in the context of modern life. In places like the United States, the United Kingdom, or Canada, you are constantly surrounded by comparison. You see people who seem more successful, more attractive, more fulfilled, more ahead. Social media platforms show you highlight reels of other people's lives, and your brain, already wired to want more, uses that as evidence that you are behind. So even when you're doing well, it doesn't feel like enough. Not because your life is lacking, but because your brain keeps resetting your expectations. And here's where it gets even deeper. Your brain doesn't just make you dissatisfied. It also makes you afraid of change, even when that change could make your life better. Because your brain values familiarity over happiness. Researchers from University of California have found that the brain prefers predictable outcomes over uncertain ones. even if the predictable outcome is negative. That means you can stay in situations that make you unhappy just because they are familiar. A job you don't enjoy, a routine that drains you, a lifestyle that limits you. Not because you want to, but because your brain says, at least I know what to expect here. The unknown feels risky, uncertain, dangerous. So when you try to change your life, you feel resistance, you feel doubt, you feel fear. Not because you're making the wrong decision, but because your brain is trying to protect you from uncertainty. This is why growth feels uncomfortable. This is why stepping outside your comfort zone feels so hard. And this is why so many people stay stuck, even when they know they want something better. Now here's the important part. All of this made perfect sense in the past. But today it's a mismatch. Your brain is running an ancient survival system in a modern world. And that creates a problem. Because instead of protecting you from danger, it often creates stress where none exists. It makes you overthink situations that are not life-threatening. It makes you worry about outcomes that may never happen. It keeps you chasing things that will never fully satisfy you. And it holds you back from change that could improve your life. But here's the part most people don't realize. You are not stuck like this. Your brain is not fixed. It can change. This is called neuroplasticity. Research from Massachusetts Institute of Technology has shown that the brain can reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. In simple terms, your brain can learn new patterns, but only if you train it. The first step is awareness. The moment you recognize that your brain is wired to focus on problems, you stop believing every negative thought automatically. Instead of thinking, something is wrong with me, you begin to think, this is my brain trying to protect me. That small shift changes everything. The second step is attention. Your brain naturally looks for threats, so you have to intentionally guide it towards something different. Not fake positivity, but balance. Noticing what is working, noticing progress, noticing moments that are usually ignored. Because whatever you focus on, your brain strengthens. The third step is understanding discomfort. When you feel anxious about doing something new, that doesn't always mean danger. Sometimes it means growth. Sometimes it means you're stepping into something unfamiliar, and your brain is reacting the only way it knows how, by trying to pull you back. But if you stay in that moment, if you don't run from it, your brain begins to adapt. And over time, what once felt scary becomes normal. This is how people transform their lives. Not by eliminating fear, but by moving forward with it, and slowly teaching their brain that the unknown is not as dangerous as it seems. Here's the truth. You were never designed to feel constantly happy. You were designed to survive, to detect problems, to seek improvement, to avoid risk. And while those traits helped humans survive in the past, they can make modern life feel overwhelming. But once you understand this, you stop blaming yourself. You stop thinking something is wrong with you, and you start seeing your thoughts for what they really are. Patterns, habits, signals from a system that is trying to protect you, not define you. And that changes how you live. Because instead of chasing happiness like it's something outside of you, you start building it intentionally. You stop waiting to feel good, and you start understanding why you don't. And that gives you control. If this changed the way you see your mind, subscribe. Because the more you understand how your brain actually works, the less control it has over you. And if you've ever wondered why you overthink, why you can't let go of certain thoughts, or why your mind feels like it's working against you, watch the next video. We're going deeper into the hidden psychology that controls your decisions without you realizing it.